Costanza?
I must say, with all due respect, I find it very hard to see the logic behind some of the moves you have made with this fine organization. In the past 20 years, you have caused myself and the city of New York a good deal of distress, as we have watched you take our beloved Yankees and reduce them to a laughingstock, all for the glorification of your massive... The little light is blinking right now. Come and listen to the idiot. Hey, everybody, the idiot's on.
Welcome, everyone, to It's Over, Yanks, with your host, Micheal, the new meatball, Caputo.
How you doing, man? What's going on,
Mike? I'm doing well, Mike. Let me join you on here on set with you. And what's going on, Mike? Let's talk about New York Yankee baseball here.
Yep.
Mike, the platform is yours. The Yankees split a 4-game set out in Oakland. And how's the Yankees been since the All-Star break?
They've been bad, man. They've been playing terrible. I really haven't had much to rant about them. They've just been up and down. But now this is the true, the definitive rant what I have to say about this team. I'm not happy right now with this team. They're playing like dog crap. They're horrible right now. Losing to the freaking Oakland A's. I mean, come on, man. It's just been I really am lost for words how hard this team has been. You got to beat the team that you're expected to beat, man. It started with the Seattle Mariners, losing to the Cardinals, losing to the Red Sox, losing to Tampa, Blue Jays, and now the freaking Oakland A's. Yeah, we beat the Mets, but that seemed like it was like almost like like a fluke. And now we got to play the Angels. If they don't beat this Angel team, I have a feel we're going to lose the division.
And why is that?
Because they don't score runs, inconsistency. They're up and down. They're not they're not consistent on a daily basis, the Yankees. They're too bipolar, this team, and they can't hit bad pitching. That's very, very troubling, actually disturbing, because how are you to lose to a team like the Oakland A's, a team that is, in my opinion, the worst team in all baseball, and they're the scum of the earth, and you can't beat a team like that? The Oakland A's might as well not even exist. They might as well not even be here because they're a joke, the Oakland A's. They should just not even exist in baseball. And for the Yankees to lose to a team like that, they should just retire and pack it in. They don't deserve to make the playoffs after losing to that team. And now they're playing the Angels. And the Angels are a little bit better than the A's, but I'm sorry. I said if we don't have at least 81 wins by September, the Yankees are definitely trending in the wrong direction right now. And you have to be worried right now as a Yankee fan, the way this team's been playing. They've been god-awful, this Yankee team. Look at their record. For the last 2 months, it's terrible.
Well, I got the standings there. You want to read the standings there?
Yeah, we're 7.5 games up, but I'm sorry. I'm not going to have, unless we get like a 12-game lead, I'm still worried right now. Remember, we had a 16-game lead 3 months ago. Now it's only 7.5. Yeah, 9.5. What is the Blue Jays are 9.5 games out, 9 games out, whatever it is, but Tampa's right there. And the Orioles are playing great, too. The Orioles might even, make noise. They could even probably try to make this division very interesting right now. So so you got to be worried, Yankee fan.
You got to be worried, but there's some news there. There's some news. Clay Holmes is coming back off the IL.
Yeah, great. Clay Holmes.
That was your favorite.
Yeah, it was, but he's kind of fell apart. After the All-Star break, he hasn't pitched lights out. Actually, even before the All-Star break, he's a bit. Yeah, later. Yeah, even before the All-Star break, he started to be falling apart.
And Marvin Gonzalez is not going to be there. He's going to be on the paternity list.
Yeah, I heard about Marvin Gonzalez. I don't care about that news. I mean, Marvin Gonzalez he's a bench player. The news I wanted to hear was that Efros was going to come back. Cortez is going to come back. Those guys, obviously, I guess Matt Carpenter, you're not going to see him for a while. But I was hoping for that news to come out. But it looks like we're not getting any of those guys back. I think Efros is supposed to come back the next series. But Severino's not going to come back, and Bader not going to come back till September. But I'm very, very worried with this team, man. They really injured me, this team. They really did. They're playing like a bunch of girls.
Here's a stat. 1 for 40 in the last night's game.
Well, not surprised. They're always 1 for 40. And with runners in scoring position, they're the worst in baseball. Just take a look at their on-base percentage and slugging percentage and OPS. They're 29th in on-base percentage. What does that tell you about this team? 29th. That means they're second. They're the worst team with on-base percentage and slugging and everything else that goes along with it. And this team is nothing but a one-and-done team if they get to the playoffs. They're going to be knocked right out. They won't even make it to the ALCS. And let's see if they actually win the division. Could they win that comfortably? I don't think they could. I don't know, man. If they can't beat the Angels, then Cole quits. Call it a career. Hey, Molly, how you doing? Nice to see you. But yeah, this team is they're in bad shape. And worried.
Now, let me ask you about Nestor Cortez being on the IL. Are you worried that he's going to come back or he's going to continue to be breaking down?
Nestor Cortez I think he'll come back. I think it's only going to be 2 starts, 3 starts. We don't know the real status of his injury, but I'm guessing I want to believe that he's going to come back. But the Yankees always get this wrong with their injuries, and Aaron Boone lies. Says that, oh, yeah, it's probably nothing, and then it turns out to be something. And if they do lose Cortez longer than what we expected, then the Yankees are in deep trouble. Then the Yankees might as well just retire. I mean, that's it. They're in trouble. If they lose Cortez.
No faith in Cole?
No, absolutely not.
So why?
Because Garrett Cole is overrated, and he's a fraud of a pitcher. He's not a definitive ace. A definitive ace to me is Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens, Matt Scherzer, DeGrom. This guy's not an ace. He's nothing but a fraud. His fastball command has been a major problem. Ever since the Spider Attack thing came out, he's been nothing but an average pitcher, Cole. Very, very hittable. Every start, he blows it. Of course, he pitched great against Oakland. He should pitch great against those teams. He should dominate those teams. But he's up and down, Cole. He's too, he's inconsistent. Everyone says it's a mental thing. I think it's more than a mental thing. I think the guy just flat out sucks. I don't think he's great. And you'll see in the playoffs, once again, he's going to lay an egg.
Well, we got Mike. Mike has a question, very important question there. Do you think that the Astros sucks?
Yeah, if you can't beat a team like the Oakland A's, you don't deserve to play baseball. And you're comparing the Astros to the Yankees, really? The Astros are a way better team than the Yankees. The Astros could bounce back from a loss like that. The Yankees cannot. The Yankees can't afford to lose to teams like that and bounce back. Only real teams could afford to lose to bad teams and come back from that. Like the Dodgers, if they lose to a bad team, they'll just bounce right back. The Yankees are not a team that bounces back from losses like that. They haven't proved it all season. So I'm sorry. This is going to put the dagger in them for good, I think.
You think so? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
think this team is capable of winning 17 more games because that's how many wins they need to make the playoffs. I do not think they are capable of winning that many more games. I think they're going to win 88 games.
Are you serious?
Possibly. So 8 more games. No. They'll win probably 90 through 94 wins. But, who knows with this team? They're too discombobulated. It's just up and down with them. They're too inconsistent, and they're too bipolar. And it's a roll of the dice with the Yankees. But because I said discombobulated?
Yes.
It's the truth, though. The Yankees are so boring that the point I'd rather go to a funeral home and see a person in a coffin for 5 hours than watch the New York Yankees right now. That's pretty disturbing, I know, but that's how bad the Yankees are. I'd rather go to a funeral home. The Yankees are so bad. They're pathetic. They're not a fun team to watch.
We got a disagreement. Molly disagrees with me.
Yeah, it's your opinion. You're entitled to, but the Yankees are not a great baseball team right now. And I think the last straw for me was with the Oakland A's. Yeah, if they turn things around against the Angels. But they do this. They always make you think that they're going to turn their season around, and they just fall right back into a well again. They've done this time and time again for the last 2 months. Great. They were great. Okay. They were great for the first 3 months. They were extraordinary. I even thought they were on pace to win 115 games. But things have the tide of the tables have turned. They're just not that team no more.
Now, what do you want this series with Anaheim? What is Caputo's
We
expectation?
need to score runs, number one, and we need great pitching. Montaz is pitching tonight. So, number one, you need to score runs, which they have failed to do in this series against Oakland. So, yeah, number one, they have to score runs, and you need great pitching, and the pitching has been definitely doing the job. I have to employ Domingo Germán. He's done a really good job. Garicole did pitch great in that series against Oakland. Tyone was good. So continue that, and then they have to score runs. But their offense is so bad. So bad. Even the bullpen you got to be careful with. If the Yankees don't score more than 2-3 runs, the bullpen is going to blow it again. Look what happened against Oakland in that game. The bullpen blew it. They put in an unexperienced pitcher, and what's his name? Marinaccio, to close out a game. Where was Lou Trevino? Why didn't he come in? He should have closed the game. And he didn't close in 4 games. What was Aaron Boone thinking? This guy is the worst manager. Aaron Boone putting a guy that has no experience, who never closed before, and he puts him in the game. Where's Lou Trevino? Was he trying to find his jersey? Because he put on the wrong jersey, I heard. He put on Tyone's jersey. What a bozo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was your thoughts on that? I mean, come on.
Just total bozo.
Like, let me ask you a question. Do you put on your pop socks on?
No. That's embarrassing. He shouldn't even play baseball after an incident like that. I mean, Aaron Boone was even putting him down and making fun of him. That's a joke. I said I never saw anything like that in the history of baseball. Everybody was cracking jokes at him. I mean, give me a break. Is he blind? Does he need reading glasses?
Let's bring in the heel. What's up, heel?
Hey guys, what's up?
All right.
What
brings you to the Caputo show?
Well, I wanted to bring up some stats that I think even would be mind blowing to even Caputo. Some stats to talk about. So let's go before the All-Star break, shall we? So before the All-Star break, here's what the Yankees were doing. This is the pitching staff. They were giving up 2.3 home runs per 9, right? That's
that was in the past though. We're talking about the present.
I know. I'm getting to that. You gotta be patient, completely. Wait, let me see. Oh, sorry. That's the hitting. That's the hitting. So they were hitting almost 2 home runs a game, and then they had an outstanding 491 runs scored on the first half, and then half of those runs, 240 exactly, came off the home run. And then
wait, repeat that again. That one.
240 of those runs, mind you, they scored 491 before the All-Star break. 240 of those came off the home run. Yeah, and then they had a 50.9% offense generated by the long ball. That's 50.9%.
Jesus.
Now let's just go to now. Like, granted, these stats after the All-Star break, they're a couple days old, so they might have gotten a little bit better. Who knows? So let's go to the offense now, right? This is now. They are hitting 1.3 home runs per 9. They are hitting 104. They have scored 104 runs scored. 66 off the long ball. That means like 63% runs are generated off the home run.
Damn.
Yeah. That's right now. Now let's go to the pitching. So before the All-Star break, the pitching was 34-12. 34 wins, 12 losses. They had a 3.06 ERA with a 0.98 WHIP. Outstanding, right? Now the pitching is at 5 wins, 7 losses, 5-7, with a 5.03 ERA, and they got a 1.26 WHIP.
Okay, so what's the point? What's happening right now in the present?
They seem like a completely different team.
They're terrible right now. I don't care about what happened 3 months ago. They suck. They're terrible. They couldn't even beat the Colorado Rockies. This team. They're awful. They're god awful. The Yankees.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what's my point? Like,
my point is that happened already, and they're not playing like that anymore. That was a long time ago. They suck.
That's not the point. The point was.
Yeah, it is.
The point was there's something missing, and then on top of that, if you want to go
there's a lot of missing.
And then on top of that, if you want to go to, like I said, home versus road splits, like I said, we can do that too.
But they're not playing like that right now. They're playing the under 500.
This still has to do with right now, by the way.
They owned by like 3 months ago. Okay.
So if you go to MLB standings and go to the Yankees, and this is so easy to do research on. So the Yankees right now at home are 45-20, and if you go look at their away winning record, their record, they're 33-30. That means that this team away barely has a winning record.
Yeah, 3 games over 500.
Yep.
I understand that, but when I'm looking at the big picture here, the Yankees are losing to really bad teams right now, and they're not scoring runs. And you know what's their run differential right now? It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know they only had 1 hit yesterday?
No. But
I guess you don't. You gotta watch the games more.
I try my best to keep up with every game.
I know you like the Astros, so I don't know why you worry about the Yankees.
No, but he's helping out. That's what he wants to do.
I understand, but it's not gonna change my mind. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me feel better about the team.
I'm not trying to make you feel better. I just pointed out good and bad things. Yeah.
Yeah, their numbers are terrible. That was 3 months. I just said they were extraordinary for 3 months, but lately they're horrible. Actually, for 2 months right now, they've been bad for a long time.
And also, if you look at the beginning of their schedule, wasn't the beginning of the schedule after the All-Star break? Like, ironically, weren't their first few games actually on the road, like against the Cardinals and all that? Ironically,
yeah, and they should have beaten those teams. Cardinals are not a major threat to win the World Series this year.
So, if I had to ask Cashman or Boone or any of those guys one question, did you build this team more to win, or did you build it more just to compete in Yankee Stadium?
They don't play well on the road or at home. The Yankees. Look
at their record. They obviously play phenomenal at home.
Yeah, that's it. That's about it. But lately they really have. Well, they beat the Mets. Their last home record was terrible. They only beat the Mets.
The only pushback I got about that at home, and if they're built for playing at home, now they got some lefties, but they really weren't lefty dominant. Left-handed dominant. You want to placate to your stadium, and by them training Jordan Montgomery, a lefty pitcher in Yankee Stadium, that's a big no-no. Because remember, Death Valley and that left field and center field is very deep for right-handed hitters. When you have a lefty pitcher, what you want to do, you want to stack the lineup with right-handed hitters. So I want to give that a little bit of a pushback, but I know what you mean when you're saying, do they placate to Yankee Stadium? And it's an oxymoron. Yes and no, because they brought in Rizzo last year. They got rid of Gallo. They brought in Benintendi, who only has 1 home run since coming over with the New York Yankees, and that was a big one, granted. But I don't know. That's a good subject you brought there on that heel, on that with the Yankee Cashman building it for the stadium or for overall.
It's not going to change my mind, man. This team is they've almost hit like a breaking point for me. I mean, these are really the Oakland A's and the Angels with the really only 2 winnable series for the rest of the way. If you look at the teams they're playing from here on out, they're not winnable. They play the Rays, Minnesota Twins. They play the Brewers. Those are not winnable games. The Brewers are better than the Yankees. I mean, all these teams that they're playing, they're not going to win.
Yeah, go ahead.
And no one's disagreeing that this team is like bad or horrible or at least off track right now. But like this team's got obvious flaws, and I think one of them is the fact that Cashman, I think it's kind of obvious at this point that he was so afraid to lose his job, like I kept saying, that he just listened to the fans, and now he's kind of paying for it because Benintendi, let's be honest, like he's not really a Bronx bomber, so to speak. He's more like a Bronx hitter. That's why he's only got 1 home run. Yeah,
he contacted him.
Yeah, and I do agree with Cav that you should lead him off and get him used to the leadoff spot. But yeah, like there's just so many like obvious holes here, and part of that also has to do with Aaron Boone not knowing where to put people where. You know, the only person he knows how to manage well is Aaron Judge, and that's only because Aaron Judge is a phenomenal ball player. You can't really mess him up.
Yep. He's the only thing great about this team, but he even goes into his slumps every now and then. But he went 0 for 4 yesterday. I mean, they none of the team hit yesterday. They were terrible. They looked like they were amateurs out there playing a team that shouldn't even belong in baseball in the Oakland A's. Oakland A's are the worst team in baseball. They're actually it's them and the Nationals. So they're actually second to the Nationals, but they're really bad. And you can't teams that are great teams, elite teams, do not lose to bottom feeders like that frequently. Once in a while, it's okay, but not every single time. Because if you lose to them every single time, you're not going to make the playoffs.
Well, the good news is the Yankees, I think, will make the playoffs regardless. Obviously, I
don't think it's going to be division. No, I think it's going to be wild card.
I think it still will be division. They would have to go into a really, really massive slump.
7 games. All they have to do is lose 7 in a row, and Blue Jays have to win 7, or the Rays, and then that's it.
And that's still really hard to do.
7 losses is not possible. I mean, it's not like they have to catch up 16 games.
Yeah, that's really hard to do for both sides.
It's pretty. I don't think it's extremely hard.
Depends on who you're facing.
Knowing how bad this team has been lately, it's not like we're like, we're tearing the cover off the ball. I mean, we're playing like under 500. So I could see if we were playing like 700 ball, then it would be impossible. But the fact that we're losing to a team like the Oakland A's, I could see it happening.
Well, let's get one thing straight. It sounds like the A's still don't have at least some talent on their squad. They still have
they have nobody. Their lineup, I look 1 through 9 that lineup, and they have the only guy that's really good is Pinder. I mean, they don't really have anybody that.
And they still have Cole Irvin, mind you, as a
and they lost to a guy that looks like he belongs in a rocking chair, and Stephen Voigt. That was pretty bad. Guy that is batting 175.
Yeah, like they are like almost there. They're like 90-95% depleted of their lineup. Like when it comes to like pure talent. But they have still a few key pieces that could help them win. But I understand where you're coming from, though. They're almost like out of talent.
Yeah, Voigt hit that to Detroit.
Yeah, and also the same guy that beat them Saturday got a hit off of them yesterday too. What is this guy? He's a 175 hitter, and all of a sudden now he's Barry Bonds against the Yankees. It's like these teams, these garbage teams, turn it on when they play the Yankees. They love to beat the Yankees, and the Yankees just basically look. They don't play. They don't. They really lay down against these bad teams, and they just look at them like they're nothing, and they just snooze, and that's it. They don't take these teams serious. They play down to their competition. That's what they do. That's the word.
I'll look that up, Mike. Don't worry about it. I got you, bud. It's 7.5 as it stands today. The Rays are second.
Yeah, you're wrong, Mike Rotunda. It's not 8.5. It's 7. We're 7.5 games up, and we're 9 up against Toronto. So get your numbers right.
The Blue Jays are 9, so the Rays.
The Tampa is only 7.5 out. I don't know where he gets 8.5 from.
It's right here, 69 and 57.
Yeah, but he said 8.5. They're 7.5 up.
It says 8.5 right here on my graphic.
I don't know what you're reading. Really, it says he has 7.5 on my graphic. Unless you're talking about the loss column.
That's exactly with the loss column. They're 7.5.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not 8.5. He said 8.5.
Yeah, and the Rays have been on fire. In the last 10, they won 7 and lost 3. Yankees are 5-5.
Let me bring in to the show. What's up, Jason? How are you? Welcome.
It's Jason
How's it going,
Kendall.
guys?
Doing good, man.
You know,
I can't hear him.
going through the motions, man, with these Yankees, man. They starting to stress my life out, man.
He's freezing on my end.
You got me, Caputo? You guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, man. It's like you think they turn it around, and it's like all of a sudden they go back to their old ways.
Yep.
I don't know what to make with this team anymore.
Told you.
I really don't, man.
Very hard to be a fan of the Yankees.
It is right now, and then we I don't know if they finalized the deal with Cashman yet, but it's like something has to change, man. It has to change from the top.
Yeah, from the top to the bottom.
You know? And it's not like it's okay. Yeah, they putting out playoff teams, but we're not real serious contenders, man. And I think the rest of Major League Baseball, they know that I'm not gonna say we're the laughing stock, but it's like we're just.
What do you want to say? Like, what do you mean by that? Real serious contenders?
Like a World Series contending team.
Yeah, we're not.
We don't have the tools that it's gonna take to get deep
you are
into the
World
playoffs
Series
like that.
You are World Series contenders.
No, we're not.
We haven't been to the World Series since how long?
2009, 13.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh my God! Again, let me put my.
See what I mean? This guy thinks like. First of all, dude, you're an Astros fan. What are you worried about the Yankees for?
Surprise Pikachu face since 2009. Oh my! You know what? Go talk to the Padres. Talk to the Mariners. Go talk to all these teams.
No, dude, we haven't been to the World Series in 13 years. That's bad. Come on.
You know, it's like that one George Lopez scene where he talks to his spoiled daughter ever, and he's like, you know what? Go tell that to the other team. See if they don't find it funny.
No, but
he's right.
The thing is, it's like okay. I'm gonna use this analogy, right? You have 10 kids, right? And you give them everything possible, everything possible. You have all the money in the world. You send them to the best schools, and none of them could graduate college for some reason. That's a problem, And that's the Yankees. We can't get to the finish line for some reason, and it's because we don't. I mean, at some point we got to be realistic. We don't have the tools, and I feel like I wrote in the chat, unless they magically turn it on all of a sudden in the postseason, we're not gonna. I don't think we make it past the division series, to be honest.
I mean, first off, you got to remember, like I said, you do have the team to win it all. But if you're talking about like the road not being easy, then I agree with you. The road's not going to be. It's not going to be easy for anyone, no matter what side of the bracket you're talking about. But yeah, you can win the World Series. You do have the tools. I mean, again, your GM got contact hitters. Some of them aren't producing like Benintendi, but if Aaron Boone can get his shit straight, I think Benintendi can start getting a groove. Isaiah Canavalefa, he's doing solid, not the best, but solid.
But you forgot about Garrett Cole. I mean, Garrett Cole is not dominant.
See, here's the thing. All right, when you say we have the names. We have the names. Right?
No, it's not even names. If you look at
the names,
Cole,
but these guys are not playing up to the
capabilities.
Living up to their potential.
Yeah.
And they're not living up to the Yankee standard. Honestly, you're an Astro fan. I live in San Antonio, so I deal with Astro fans all the time, and you don't get it. It's a different standard when you wear the pinstripes.
Yes.
Correct. And see, all right, let me get with this Cashman issue, right? My thing with Cashman is, right, I got it, you don't want to get rid of the prospects to get these big names and stuff. Okay, but we said the same thing years ago with Clint Frazier, Gary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, and the list goes on and on. These guys, they were supposed to be, oh my God, the baby bombers. This is the future of the franchise. And look how that turned out. The only one who panned out to be anything was Aaron Judge.
What are you showing us here, Hill?
Garrett Cole's numbers.
So we held on to these guys.
Okay.
Way too long, and now you got, and they have no value to them anymore. You know. So I understand, we got Peraza, Volpe, and all these kids down there. But you know what? When you got a guy like Luis Castillo, we could have got Luis Castillo for Gleyber Torres, right? A few years back.
Yeah, I remember that. They
one for one trade. Gleyber for Castillo, and we didn't do it.
Yep, terrible.
Because at the time, Gleyber was a highly touted prospect.
Yeah, but all right, see the thing, 2019, right? He had this great year, right? But we all know the balls were juiced then. Them guys who was hitting 40 home runs that year, 30 home runs, look where they at now.
Yeah.
Actually, some of them were so good.
Look at a guy like Christian Yelich, right?
Yelich, yeah.
Right? A lot of these guys, I don't know, man.
But yeah,
you're making good points there, Jason.
Yeah, but if you want to talk about Garrett Cole, though, again, 2.64. That's actually a really good, reliable pitcher. 10 wins, 6 losses, a 3.31 ERA. You tell me that's not a good pitcher?
He's not, dude. Compared to DeGrom, Scherzer, Verlander, look what those guys are doing. They're putting up Cy Young seasons.
Okay, you're comparing Cole to, let's be honest, a godlike level of DeGrom, who's the best pitcher
and
in our league right now.
Verlander is better too. Don't forget Verlander. Verlander's had a Cy Young season.
Cole needs to put the Yankees on his back.
Exactly.
That's what the Yankee fans are looking for. He needs to put them. He needs to put them on their back.
And by the way, I'm tired of the Yankee fans being like, "Oh, there's just like Yankee standard." It's like, dude, let's be honest. With the game changing, there's no longer this Yankee standard because like a lot of teams.
But there is when you're a Yankee.
A lot of teams, especially in the analytic department, are so far ahead with the Yankees. Like they still find the Yankees a threat, but it's not like how it used to be. And granted, that may be an insult to you guys. I don't know.
Well,
that's just the truth.
If you're a Yankee fan, our standards always hold high because of the history, the mystique, the aura. The Yankees have 27 World Championships, and when you're a fan of a team with this much rich tradition, you expect championships, and we haven't won in 13 years. So yeah, we're spoiled.
The problem with the Yankees set the bar. They don't play by. Everyone else has to. Everyone else has to come to the bar, and that's why it frustrates us as fan base. Because why are the Yankees lowering themselves to the bar of other teams like a Tampa?
Yeah, like the Yankees are a global phenomenon. I mean, they're iconic franchise. You have to hold the standards very high. What do you expect? We're the most popular team in the world. So what do you freaking want the Yankee fans to be like?
Yeah, I understand that part, but at the same time, if you really want to make a statement again, I think, like I've been saying for years now, Yankees have to start embracing both analytics and both the eye test.
Yeah, I hate analytics.
That's how it's gonna have to be then, because a lot of teams are beating you with what? Analytics. Like how did Aroldis Chapman get beat with the Rays? He got beat by, let's be honest, at the time, a nobody.
Yeah, look at Buck Showalter.
And everyone knows the thing. Why? Because he's the guy named Michael Brasso that hit a home run. They clinched the fucking division. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but they clinched the division series against Aroldis Chapman.
But the Yankees have to get their shit together, man. They're not a team that is a series contender.
Yeah, the Astros, even cheating aside and all that. Why did they beat big teams? Why did they beat even teams like the Yankees? Why? Because they embrace analytics, and that's how Yankees always get owned.
The Astros.
Is it really analytics or a lineup of contact hitters who could work the count, who doesn't strike out a lot? No, they took the Kansas City Royals moniker.
It's both. It's both analytics and the eye test. That's what I've been trying to say.
Yeah, but the Astros beat the Yankees too because they actually come up with big hits in the playoffs.
The Dodgers, a team that you love and praise a lot, they have both analytics and the eye tests. That's why Bellinger still has a job, because the
Dodgers are more of a complete team than the Yankees.
He still contributes despite his big slump out of nowhere.
Yeah, but you're comparing teams that actually have complete teams. The Yankees are not a complete team.
Because they haven't embraced analytics, they just go by the eye test.
It's not analytics, dude. They
It's
just
not. They don't use the eye test either.
Yeah, they don't
If
use
they did, if they used the eye test, they would not be. They wouldn't have last year been stacked with a bunch of right-handed hitters. They were going analytics wise. They don't believe in.
You better really bring analytics into.
They're not going analytics. I don't.
Yeah, and the Astros cheated the three seasons.
Did you not just hear me? I said take out the cheating. I said even you take out the cheating. You got to. Bottom line is these other teams that are beating the Yankees, you got to respect them for how they're doing it, and they're doing it with what analytics in the eye test and managing their managing their budget.
They're beating them because they're better than the Yankees.
They're hitting. Exactly. They're getting time. They're playing the right baseball. Timely hitting, moving base runners over, not striking out, putting the bat on ball, and that's what's hurting the Yankees.
Yeah, and Clutch Gene, the Yankees don't.
That's another one. And that one, clutch gene, you can't teach that. You can't. There is no analytics department saying a clutch gene on statistics. You just gotta have it. You have it or you don't have it.
Yeah, like Derek Jeter. He always had the clutch gene.
And I'll be the first to admit it. You guys need a better manager. You guys need a manager that will stay consistent with the lineup. Because if you look at good managers, what do good managers do? They stick with a good lineup and they get you used to that spot. Like even look at the Rays, the Astros, the Dodgers. Everyone's got their spot in the lineup, and they're like, okay, you're gonna bat here and just try to get used to it and gotta get used to it. But Boone's like, Benintendi, I don't know, flip a coin, lead off or batting eighth. Click. And okay, what's it today? All right, Benintendi, you're lead off.
Yeah, right. They got to be a little more. They got to be a little more consistent to that lineup.
Yeah, because it messes with your head. It really does that as a batter because you don't know what mindset to go up there with.
This guy brought up a good point. He said that we can't beat anyone with one hit in 11 innings. Yeah, he's right. I mean, you got to justify the Yankees' offense.
I'm not talking about just one game, though. I'm talking about like as a whole, though, Mike. But
they have not been playing great for 2 months. It's not just one game. This has been going on for 2 months now. Ask any Yankee fan right now if this team has been extraordinary. They're far from it. They've been playing like dog shit, the Yankees. Let
me ask Jason. Jason.
Yeah.
Now we get Severino back. Met Cortez, a little bit of a break. You got Cole, who needs to put the Yankees on his back this postseason. There's a chip on the shoulders with this team going into October. Do you see that this pitching staff could be lights out the way returning back to form that we saw in the first half or the first quarter of the baseball season?
Do you mean like postseason play or for the rest of the regular season?
No. As soon as the clock turns October, right?
Okay.
And also, I believe this a neck factor is Frankie Montas, because Frankie Montas, he wants to get generational changing money. Now he could be dog crap this regular season, but when it comes October, and he turns on that Duque impersonation, he's gonna make some money, Jason.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, man. You can't win if you don't score. The pitching staff has been actually really good, you know. With the exception of Clark Schmidt yesterday, but we don't expect much from him. It's been I'm actually like, if they could hold the way they're pitching now for the rest of the season, I'll be happy with that. But we gotta score runs. We're not gonna win in the postseason scoring 1 or 2 runs a game. It's not gonna happen.
You gotta score runs. That's
and how we're gonna play much better hitting teams. I don't get this team sometimes. We playing the A's. Like, I understand that something about playing against the Yankees, it hypes you up, like you want to do better. I get it. But come on, man. Some of these pitchers are coming in with a 6+ ERA, and
that always happens.
And they pitch in one hit ball games. This something's got to change, man. I don't.
Is it their concentration? Is their concentration level? Because they took care of Manoah and Scherzer and Taijuan Walker, who's no slouch either, and they were focused. They were hitting the ball. They were putting, pitch count, working the count. When they're focused and they're ready, their level of expectation or The level of competition is up grand stage. The Yankees, when they get locked in, they look like juggernauts.
Yeah, Kevin, can you explain this to me though? Why is it that we struggle against bad pitching when everybody else hits bad pitching? We don't.
That was what I'm trying to get to. Maybe they just their level of concentration. We're gonna beat this. Maybe they just bored. I don't know.
But this has been going on for years and years and years. We never hit bad pitching.
But it's a new season. Caputo, you turn the page. It's a new season, new roster, new expectations, new thoughts. But they seem like this year, they are like
same thing. It's the same thing. They try too hard, the Yankees too. They press. They have too much, like I don't know what's on their plate, but this team really tries way too hard and they try to do too much. And they hit too many home runs. And you look, if they don't hit home runs, they don't win. Everyone knows that. They're a home run or bust team. They got a few contact hitters in LeMahieu and Benintendi. And after that, what do they have? Just
don't sell short. Zaya kind of Falefa's a contact hitter.
Yeah,
and Jose Trevino is another one. You got four guys on this lineup that are contact hitters. Now, I understand things don't happen is because of the freaking lineup construction. You gotta sprinkle and you gotta be able to make a lineup construction to capitalize and utilize those four contact hitters in your lineup in good and better situational hitting.
But they don't do that, and they change the lineup every game. It's ridiculous. It's too much.
So you can't really fault the players, guys, because the players all players want is stability. Where the hell am I gonna bat? When I'm gonna bat, and what's my job on this team? But if you're batting 6-1 game and then you're batting leadoff, then they put you number 2. And I'm talking about Benintendi. What's my role here? Why are you bringing me in New York Yankees? You want me to be a high on base hitter? Do you want me to be a contact hitter, or you need me for power to take advantage of the short porch? And that's a mixed message to a player. I think the same thing with Anthony Rizzo. By the way, I think Rizzo's back is hurting, and I think he's hurt. I would try to think about trying to get Jesus Aguilar in here if Rizzo can go.
I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen unless it's significant.
Next year, if I'm Cashman, honestly, as much as probably some people like Boone, then again I doubt it. I would look for a new manager, and because I think the most the most important thing on a baseball team is installing confidence in your lineup. Because look at the Royals from 2015. I think they had only 1 or 2 guys 20 home runs, and they won the World Series. That should say something to somebody out there.
Yeah, but who we're gonna get? If we were gonna get rid of Boone, last year was the time to do it.
I agree.
And get Buck Showalter.
Showalter
who's out there? Who are we gonna get?
There's nobody available in free agency. They would have to make trades next year. The only 2 trades that they could do is Pablo Lopez and Carlos Rondon. I think he's actually a free agent. So those would be the only 2 pitches the Yankees could go for in trade. So the Yankees are pretty much screwed.
No, we're talking about manager. Managers go.
I don't know. It looks like they're going to keep this guy, Aaron Boone. He's terrible. I mean,
Boone. He has his good moments, and then it's like when you think he's focused, and then he does something, and it's like, I don't know, man. Like just leave Andrew Benintendi lead off. Right? He's obviously comfortable at the leadoff position.
He was perfect
at the leadoff spot. When he plays there, he does well.
He does great in the leadoff spot, but they keep shifting. They keep changing the lineup constantly. So
I understand why they do it, because it's like when there's a lefty starting pitcher, they don't want the lefty matchup more than they have to, But I don't know. DJ's not the same DJ he was a few years ago.
Hell no.
We have to accept that now.
Yeah, he doesn't hit over 300 no more.
That's why they should have let him walk. If you had Gleyber Torres, they should have allowed him to walk. I understand. What are you crazy? He's hitting. They should have. They could have let him walk. They could have had that money. Even though he's not a lot of money, but the roster spot. I don't know. I just they're not getting younger, or they have the young talent, but do we value them more than what they really are? Because nobody really was going crazy to I'll take your prospects. in the trade deadline, it seemed like nobody liked it, our prospects, more than Cashman giving them up. That's what it felt to me.
Yeah. It's not that I don't think it's that they didn't like him. It's that the package wasn't right. Because, once you take Volpe off the table, that's the main guy everybody wants, And other teams, they put together better packages. They were willing to give up their top prospects, for a short thing. Yeah. That's the thing with prospects. Like, I get it. I want to see Anthony Volpe, and I want to see these guys, right? But we don't know what they're going to become. We have no idea. How many guys came up and they were supposed to be the next Ken Griffey Jr., and they get here and it's like, okay. And there's a lot of guys that were drafted in the 30th round, like crazy. Like, look at Albert Pujols, who's about to retire. This guy was drafted in like the 28th round. Only had like a $5,000 signing bonus, and look what he became. So it's
Mookie Betts.
We've seen it time and time again as Yankee fans. From Kevin Moss, didn't pan out to be anything. We saw it when we saw Shane Spencer. He helped us at that moment, but he didn't take off from there. Sheldon Duncan didn't take off from there. All those flash in the pans that were brought up. Eduardo Nunez didn't go nowhere. Oh, a great utility shortstop, second baseman, third baseman. He had a decent career, Ramiro. We could go on and on with the names that we value, and it just doesn't pan out. Sometimes if you have a bona fide player already in the major league level, maybe you might have to pull the trade. Bam Bam as well. Exactly. There's a lot of names that come up that just don't translate. It's tough for us to see if Volpe could or will be a player. It's hard. We don't know because is he going to give it a fair shot, and you're going to put him now in when you're trying to wrap up the American League East. That's a lot of pressure.
And then another thing too is that now we have these guys down in the farm, right? But we don't ever see them. They're like a myth, It's like you hear them and they're so good and all this, but we'll never. They don't come up to they're in their late 20s, and that's a problem, Kids get discouraged down there. I bet if I was a minor leaguer or somebody, a fresh, prospect getting drafted, I would hate to get drafted by the Yankees. You'll never know when you're gonna make it to the big leagues. But if you go to like a team like Tampa or one of these, even the Braves, they bringing guys straight from AA. Why can't we do that?
Exactly. I'm with you on that. Why can't we bring it up? Bring a guy up here and see what we got. Hey, I understand. I'm not comparing, but Juan Soto was at 19 years old in Yankee Stadium, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
if I'm the Yankees, I'm looking to get rid of probably at least Aaron Hicks's contract. Probably move IKF to third and trade Donaldson. And you know what I'm doing? I'm calling up either Volpe or Peraza.
They also have to trade Torres and
I'm definitely calling up Jason Dominguez. So he'll be
I'm letting him. Yeah. I was gonna sorry to interrupt. I would try to let him say Dominguez if he has a shot to make the freaking team in spring training. Give him an opportunity. Don't give a guy. Personally, I don't care about their clock. Their eligibility free agency clock. If the guy could ball and can hit and can help the team, why not? Why? Because you're gonna want to save an extra couple of bucks in arbitration. Come on, man.
On top of that, if you can find a way to get rid of Hicks and Donaldson, that's a lot of money saving the books. And guess what? That means that money can go towards something more important, like starting pitching or bullpen.
They're gonna need bullpen out.
I'm more concerned about them upgrading their pitching than re-signing Aaron Judge. Yeah, okay, they have to sign Judge, but that's not a number one priority because even if they do sign Judge, they're still not a World Series favorite. It's still not going to help their chances of winning the World Series next year. They're going to be the same team again. It's not going to do anything because he's been on the team already for 7 years, Judge, and they never won a World Series. So I don't know what all this like obsession with keeping Judge is like so one priority. There's other
because he's been the hero every time you needed it. Like
I think we have to keep Judge, in my opinion,
because
but
I just look at this team. Imagine this team without Judge right now. You think we're bad now without Judge, man?
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I think they're not making the playoffs if they lose Judge. They'll really be like up shit creek without that. But
now, do we overpay for him? I don't know. But the thing is it's a business. I feel like Judge brings the team enough money to give him a better contract than they offered him.
He brings the Yankees that like personality that they need. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Yankees will always be the Yankees, but he makes the Yankees fun to watch. You know, like, here comes the Judge, and there's the Judge's chamber and all like that. Like he gives them like a different type of like layer of character, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we've had him already for a long time, and we got no championship out of it. So keeping him another 7 years is not going to make any difference, I don't think.
Yeah, but you need it for the marketing. You need him for the marketing. You need him for the money. But Michael, he's a draw.
Exactly.
He's
a cash cow, man.
Yeah, you gotta give him the money because personally, I'm sorry. Even if you bring in a Shohei Ohtani instead of a Judge, I don't.
I mean, Shohei Ohtani would be good as far as like, it's another Babe Ruth in Yankee Stadium. But,
no, Shohei, he does terrible at Yankee Stadium.
He's terrible.
Son about. I don't know if when the big lights come on, he gets nervous.
This nonsense. Mike, what is naming him captain though going to do about their World Series chances though?
After this year though, he deserves it though.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with the World Series though? We want a World Series. We don't care about who's crowned captain. I care about a World Series championship. I could care less who's the leader of this team because Derek Jeter was captain for the Yankees for all those years. And did they win championships? No. So I don't care about who's captain.
Didn't they win like at least 3 with him?
No, before he was captain, they won 3. But what I'm trying to say is actually 4. But he barely won any championships with them as captain. So it doesn't make a difference who's the leader of this team. It's going to be the same thing. Who cares? Yeah. He's the captain now without being named captain. So he's the face of the team. Everyone knows it. So why do you have to make him captain to make it official? We know he's the face of the team. So,
but that would work for marketing. Here comes the captain, Aaron Judge.
It's so stupid.
All right.
I tell you what, he's not staying in New York just to be the captain. No, you're
have
to pay this man.
Sorry. And by the way, here's a hot take, and I'll say it right now: Aaron Judge has the potential to be better than Derek Jeter all time. He does.
He's not going to catch him. He's not going to catch him in hits. Come on.
Not if you don't win a ring.
He has potential.
He's not going to get him in hits. Not all time. He's not even getting close to 3,000 hits. I love Judge, but he's not.
No,
I don't see anybody coming up in this age getting 3,000 hits.
Exactly.
These guys are batting 250, and that's.
And what did Judge? What did Jeter end up with? 36, 37, 100.
I can look it up for you.
Yeah, please, real quick. And and let's go back to speaking about shrinkage. Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani. His shrinkage in Yankee Stadium. He turned small, man. Oof.
Yeah, that's a concern. That's why I would love to have Shohei, but I don't know. His performance at the stadium is not good.
Okay. Yeah, Derek Jeter ended his career with 3,465 hits.
65 hits. 34.
But that's not why Yankee fans love Derek Jeter. You know why we love Derek Jeter? Because he came through when we needed him.
Yeah, and he won championships.
Yeah, that's what we remember. When we really needed it most, he performed,
Yep. And he improvised.
That's what you're gonna get. Look at Aaron Boone. He didn't have a great Yankee career, but he had that one big home run and
the
he
moment
was in the books.
Yeah, and that made it
history.
Let's be real. That's why he has a job here. Only because he hit that home run. Because if he didn't,
much.
he'd be the manager of the Yankees.
Oh, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I know that I already know the answer to it, but I'm going to make the answer anyway. Boone is out. Yankees. Any chance of a reunion with Girardi?
No, I don't think so. I doubt it.
I would love Girardi back.
I like Girardi. You know what it is? But he made a terrible. And what was it? 2017 was it?
Yeah.
He made some bad calls, man. But I don't know. I don't want Girardi either. Man. I want an old school hard nosed.
Yeah.
Get in the players' ass.
Terry Francona.
You need someone that would have a nice balance, like I said, between analytics and then like like I said, like watching on what happens on the field. And honestly, I could recommend a guy from the Astros organization called Joe Espada.
He was a Yankee. He was a Yankee already under Joe Girardi. He was our bench coach.
We don't want no
Yeah.
one from the
No, he was our bench coach. Joe Espada was our bench coach under Joe Girardi.
Yeah. I recommend him.
He's good. He's good too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him, but here's a name that could give won't take crap from Cashman about telling him what to line up or who to play and all that. And it's a good baseball man, although he really a little bit of bad luck. What about Don Mattingly?
Oh, I would love to see Donnie back.
I think he'll stay a Marlin though for a little bit more. I think, but then again, I don't know what the Marlins' future is going to necessarily hold. But it depends what they do.
Yeah, I mean, you bring in a Donnie baseball man. Cashman can't really tell him much because he's like he was a former Yankee captain and legend. It'll be but I don't know if Cashman will do that. If there was a new general manager, I could see that.
I don't know. I feel like the manager, I'm not like high on Boone, but at the same time, I don't think he's the problem. These guys are just not hitting, man.
Who's really smart? Who's really smart that I could also recommend. Now, I would hate to see this happen, but at the same time, he would make a great addition to your organization. He's a guy from the Braves named Ron Washington.
Yeah, but he would be too much for him. He has an issues that he's good as a bench coach. He's gonna unfortunately Ron Washington will stick as a Don Zimmer, to a Tory.
He's great at teaching people how to field. He's great at teaching people, all kinds of stuff. On top of that, he has a great personality. I mean, he's smart with the bullpen and all that. I mean,
you throw him a lot of money to be a bench coach to a new manager because
he taught Ozzy Albies and Swanson had to field. Like he taught so much that Braves.
No, he's great. He's great there. He bought what Don Zimmer bought, but he's not manager. You can't get him to run a club. It failed in Oakland. It failed in Texas. He's just phenomenal. Same thing as Don Zimmer. In my opinion, I was gonna say this. I do have an issue with the way with Boone. Yeah, we have had so many bullpen arms. He does not know how to manage a bullpen. Too many bullpen injuries. Okay, Chapman, Britton,
Chad Green,
Green. You could name them.
Everybody.
Name them all.
Everybody's hurt. Whole bullpen is hurt.
The whole bullpen is hurt. He lost five innings. It's the fifth inning with 1 out, 2 outs. There's a 2-out base hit. He has to run out right away. Jesus Christ, let the pitcher be a pitcher. Learn how to pitch. In the regular season, how are you going to go in the postseason to hunker down and have a bulldog mentality? Let the freaking pitcher pitch. Let him finish that inning. Bring in a reliever on a clean inning. I hate that. I know relievers got to learn how to pitch with holds and runners on base. Yes. But I would love him to have sometimes allow his pitchers, and to me, he doesn't have the temperature of the team when it comes with him. Third time in the order. Sometimes you have to let him hunker down. Maybe that pitcher has the moxie, the cojones, the stones to get that guy out. That kills me with him. And you quickly, and then he brings a pitcher in to get that out of that inning. Then he removes them. Then he brings another one. Now you burn 3 freaking arms. I hate the way he manages a bullpen because by the 8th inning, we already blew 4 bullpen arms or 4, including the starter. And then wait a minute, it's only a 1-2 run game. They tie, we go to extra innings, we're screwed. You don't got anyone for the back end. I personally do not like the way he manages the bullpen.
Yeah, like that's one thing. Me and Kev, like you can see me in the comments typing, and me and Kev always agree on is like, why is he doing this to the bullpen? Like I remember it was a Red Sox game that you were doing a watch along to, and I remember he threw in Lou Torino, I believe it was, And granted, it was Alex Verdugo, but Torino had good stuff against lefties. Granted, I get it. Torino's not having a good season, but he had like 2 outs. I think it was like 1, 2 on, something like that. And we were like, go ahead, let Torino pitch. Why not? This Red Sox team is struggling. Torino's got good stuff against lefties, and no, he took him out immediately. We were like, what? You're just going to tax the bullpen some more. And I think Chapman came in, was the one. And we were like, remember we were having the conversation.
That was the pickoff play that saved their asses.
Yeah.
From that, because he was going to take off, and we were like, what? He got bailed out there. And I don't like the way he, if anyone has an counter argument on that, if you think he managed the bullpen fine, I don't.
No, I think. I don't. Sometimes I don't like what he does with the bullpen. To me, I feel like there's certain guys that he wants to make him good so bad, but they can't. They're not pitching well. They're just not pitching well. Don't put him in high leverage situations.
Yeah, he brings in
Chapman. He wants to get Chapman back to the old Chapman so bad. He wants Albert Abreu to work so bad, but they don't. They're not working.
Look at Lucas Licky. That guy's terrible.
Don't give these guys. Don't put them in high leverage situations.
The whole bullpen's a giant question mark. I mean,
it's because of Aaron Boone, though. The bullpen is great when it's great, but then Aaron Boone, he's like, I'm gonna go.
There's no definitive closer right now. Who's their closer? There's no closer.
No, there isn't anyone right now.
Yeah, there isn't anyone right now. It was Clay Holmes, but then he's injured now.
He's coming off. He comes off tonight.
He's back.
Yeah,
he's back tonight. He's back tonight. Maybe they assume him. They let him be the closer there, and hopefully that time off reinvigorates him, where he got worked on some mechanics and gets back to where his. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll bounce back.
Yeah. I think that's all that was about with Clay Holmes. They were like, look, you know what? Take a couple weeks off, relax. Spend time with your family, work on your mechanics, and get back. Because something was definitely off with him.
None of that. Over management and the emotions. It's emotional. He was out there. You take a step back. He was phenomenal. You're the closer of the New York Yankees. Where when you think of closer of New York Yankees, you have the unanimous Hall of Famer Mariano Rivera. Then you were named. That's a big shoes, no matter what. Even if he's been retired for 5 years now or 6, it's still a big. You're still in a big platform. Also, you were named to your first All-Star game. It synced in on that break. Like, oh wow, pinch me. I'm living the life. I'm actually the closer of the New York Yankees. I'm an All-Star, getting an All-Star bonus. Life is good, and I'm a little fatigued. I didn't get that break, that rest like I normally do. And fatigue and wow, overwhelming start. He could have been starstruck at the All-Star game. I'm just saying, we always say about the baseball, but the human element or the human or the emotional element also tolls down. And it's a good thing I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You don't have the makeup. It could happen to any one of us, you're like, whoa, I can't believe I'm here now, Though maybe that's what happened to Clay Holmes. Now, like you said, take some time off, regroup, refocus. You know what? It's going to be September. We need you to back. Okay, I know you got the stuff. We saw you last year when we traded for you. We saw you at the beginning half. Boom. I think he'll be back. I think it's a reset. I think he'll be fine.
And just speaking of the Yankees now and their record, we have how many games now left? 33 games left. So the Yankees would have to go like 17 and like 10. I mean, if they don't do that, I don't know if this team's incapable of winning 17 more games because they're so horrible. If they don't get at least 93, 94 games, which doesn't seem like it's possible right now, how are they going to make it to the playoffs?
Remember, they still got another series with the Blue Jays who are struggling.
Yeah. I'm not worried about them making it to the playoffs like you are, Caputo. I'm not worried about that.
I am worried. When are you going to be worried? It's September. It's going to be September now.
It's what they're going to do in the playoffs that I would be nervous about.
Yeah, but see, I'm not worried about that. I want to see them first get that over with, and then we'll cross to that bridge when we get to it. Because I want to see them clinch the division first.
Yankees are 29 games of clinching the American League East.
Yeah, but they have to the way they're playing. Yeah, I know their magic number, but the pace that they're on right now, it seems like they're only on pace to win 88 games the way they're playing. Because they're so bad. So it's troubling.
Like I don't think anyone should press the number of games I would press the panic button on is probably when they're like only 3 games ahead of a second, place team in the standings. That's when you press the panic button, especially when it's like 10 or so games left. That's me is fine if you press the panic button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I tell you what though, man. Some of these teams now, I'm looking at the standings.
I just said it.
The wild
They
card.
have no winnable
Some of
games.
these teams are creeping up, man.
Yeah, I was just
only
saying
7.5 games.
If you look at their schedule for September, there's no winnable games. I mean, what teams do you see them beating in September? There's no winnable games.
I mean, no, this winnable games. Come on, man. We gotta win something.
People like to exaggerate.
We have.
Yeah, but we already lost to the worst teams. We're playing playoff contending teams. If you can't beat Oakland and Angels, what makes you think you're going to beat the Milwaukee?
The Yankees just got to win series. They win series. Series. That's all. They win series.
If they can't beat Toronto and can't beat Oakland and can't beat the Angels, what makes you think they're going to beat the Milwaukee Brewers in the Minnesota Twins?
But they swept. They just finished sweeping the freaking Mets, who are playing. They were on fire.
I know. It's so discombobulated, this team, that you don't know what team is going to show.
It's not like the Angels are a complete pushover either. They still got some decent pitchers like Patrick Sandoval, and then Shohei Ohtani when he pitches, and their offense have some decent batters like Shohei.
He's not pitching against the Yankees this series. I don't believe.
Well, I'm just trying to tell him, just because a team is like bad or mediocre doesn't mean they don't have some good.
They have talent. They have talent.
Yeah. So
what I'm trying to say is, what team is going to show up when we play the Angels now? Are we going to get the good Yankee team or the bad Yankee team? Like, is Clark Kent going to show up or is Superman going to show up?
Look, tonight the Yankees had a short trip into Anaheim. Oh, and Anaheim had to take a long cross-country flight from Toronto back to Los Angeles. So they probably got in late at night. And now it's up to the Yankees. It's up to Montas. You're only as good as your starting pitcher. Montas has to go out there and throw a good game, and the offense has to reward. And I think the Yankees offense will show up because they know Montas hasn't been great lately. So,
Also, I don't know if you remember this, but I was on stream with you last year. Remember, it came down to the final game of the season for the Yankees to clinch the playoffs.
They lost. And they lost.
No, they did. The Yankees did win. They clinched the wild card. The Yankees.
I know, Charlie. I know. Yeah, I was just saying that every mediocre team still does have good players. Again,
what I'm trying to say is, do you see a scenario this year that it comes down to the very, very last game of the season for the Yankees to win the division? You don't think that's going to happen again?
No. They'll play for a weekend to go.
I don't think it's going to happen, but it could happen.
I was just going to say that.
We have 6 games remaining.
It happened last year, though. Remember, it happened last year. The Yankees did win that final game, but it came to the very, very last game of the season for them to make the playoffs. So it could happen again. Do you think this team is better than it was last year? The same exact team as they were last year. They're no better than last year's team. This team might be worse than last year's team.
I don't think. I think as long as we play 500 ball from here to the end.
Oh yeah,
500 ball. Win half of them and lose half of them, we'll be all right.
Yeah, at worst.
Yeah, but if we lose, we have 6 games versus Tampa and 3 versus the Blue Jays.
And those are in Toronto, by the way.
Yeah, and we don't even know about Benintendi's situation.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I'm trying to set up the scenario. What if we lose all the games to Tampa and Toronto? Then we're not going to win the division. So
they're not going to get. They're not going to get swept by these teams. They might lose a series 2 out of 3. They might lose 2 out of 3, but they won't get swept. They're not.
Guys, put back the panic button. Okay, right now I understand the worry button, but put it back. Put it back under the desk.
Now, if you would have told me if you told me they would have got swept by the Blue Jays last week, 2 weeks ago, when Manoah pitched, then I'm like, oh, you know what? We seen it, but I don't see any American League East team sweeping the New York Yankees the remainder of the season. I don't. I'm sorry.
It remains to be seen. Anything could happen in baseball. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. Correct. Anything could happen. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The ball is round, like they say. Anything could happen, but I just don't see this team losing. When especially when you're going to get Severino back, you're getting guys back healthy. You're gonna get an expanded roster, and I just don't see. I don't see it. I don't see them. You know, I just can't.
I think is not probable, right? That's what we think. It can't. Anything can happen, right?
Right. Anything can happen.
But I doubt it. I think we're gonna play in October. You know.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it to the postseason. I feel like, me personally, I feel like we take the division. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm scared. I'm afraid to play the Astros. I'm afraid to play the Mariners. These guys, you know, there's some good teams out there in the American League, man. That I don't think in a 7-game series, a 5-game series, or whatever. I don't think we can beat them, man.
And I know this is gonna get Charlie excited, but I'd rather, in the words of Ric Flair, you got to beat the best to be the best, right? I want to play the Astros. Definitely. They don't scare me, even though they're better than us right now.
How do they not scare you?
They don't scare me. The guys don't scare me. I feel comfortable that, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose to the Astros. I'm not. I'm more worried because it'd be more embarrassing is losing to the freaking punching bag of the New York Yankees, the Twins. I've said it before, and I said it, keep saying. That will be freaking embarrassing. We go into the playoffs. Oh, we made it to the playoffs. We're pumping our chest, and we lose to the Twins.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be embarrassed again that you did all this work just to be stopped by the same hurdle that kept pushing you back again?
That's okay. That's fine, because now we know how the Red Sox felt when every time the Yankees kept kicking their butts. Now and only going to make you want to get more hungrier.
So you're telling me it wouldn't at least like make you frustrated, or Caputo case make you have a heart attack that you can't get over the same hurdle every year?
Because I know we're gonna, what? Law of averages. We're eventually gonna beat the Astros. That's why you don't scare me.
Yeah,
bring them on.
You know what pisses me off about the whole Yankees Astro rivalry is that the Astros is a different team, a much different team than they were 4 years ago, and for some reason they still did the hurdle
Jason,
we can't get over.
Jason, the philosophy's still there. They're putting the bat on ball, making contact, not swinging and misses. That's why it keeps winning. That's why the dynasty Yankees, no matter what, from '96 all the way almost to 2003, kept winning. Almost won those World Series because it was the same philosophy. The Yankees' philosophy when they won the championship was you work the count, you get the pick, you get into the Yankees. You get into the opposing team's bullpen early, and you beat the crap out of them. And the Astros, similar to the Kansas City Royals, make contact, put pressure, keep hitting, don't swing and misses, make contact, good things are going to happen, situational hitting. They got guys, from all over. The last time we played them after the All-Star break, they had the number 7, 8, and 9 hitter hitting all over, spraying the ball all over the Yankees. Why? Contact. And that's why, if you're gonna mimic a team, you mimic team where it works. No, not Moneyball, and then Moneyball's a failed system. What did the Athletics win? They're celebrating 20 games they won 20 years ago. That's their banner, and we want to mimic that crap. Come on, man. That's what irritates me.
Believe it or not, though, like the analytics, at least a small part of it does come from Moneyball, as far as on base percentage, hard hit rate, and all that. So is it really a field system? Not really, but I see where you're coming from, kind of ish. As far as like getting players that can do what big players can't for like a cheap money. But believe it or not, like I said, a lot of analytics today is influenced by Moneyball. So it's not really a field system. But yeah,
I know. They want it, but it didn't work for the Athletics. You still got to have money. You still got to have the best players. You got, and like Jose Melo says, Astros don't waste at bats. That's true, because even when they do get an out, they're making a productive out because they're moving the freaking runner from first to second. So now you're putting pressure, and that's what we want. That's what we want. That's the same thing with the old Yankees from the dynasty days. You remember you always had that leadoff hitter, either not block. Jeter would get him over to second, or you get first and third and nobody out. And then you got Paul O'Neill coming up. Paul O'Neill, line drive hitter. It was always a table setters with the good clutch hitting. We don't have that. Right now you get LeMahieu, and then you got your big home run hitter batting second. Where the hell? That makes no freaking sense. So it just don't. To me, it just doesn't. To me, I know there's a reason. I know we go about it. He's gonna get more at bats. He's gonna bat 5 times, and you're gonna get your home hitter up 5 times. I get that. I understand that point, but it's something about table. You shouldn't worry about 5 times at bat meaning a home run if you do the things correctly, fundamentally right. You don't need to be put in that position where you're going to need your home run hitter to bat 5 times, guys. That's my point. That's just me.
Yeah, and even though we lost the series against the Orioles, we did win one game, mind you. The one thing I kept watching from our game against the Orioles is we made them field almost every at bat. Like they were on their toes every single at bat, and even their pitcher, like I think. I don't remember the stats, but I think the most strikeouts they had were they were averaging probably around 5. They weren't really striking out hitters. They were just their guys making field after field after field. Then the one game they couldn't make the last game that we won, we got I think 2 hits, and then Yuli Gurriel hit one hard, I think either in the gap or at least near one of the outfields, I think. Then we scored 2 runs and won the game that way. So again, you're probably, if you're lucky, on an average day, you'll probably strike us out like around 5 times. On a good day, if you're really, really good and on your A game, like 10 times, and then which is again a lot, but again, that's just how we are. But
can you find out team strikeouts on the Astros since you're looking at the stats?
Sure, I'll try my best to. I probably just have to go to Fangraphs.
See, I feel like we can beat the Astros if everybody plays up to the way they're supposed to play. If everybody does their job.
Exactly.
But it hasn't happened. That's the whole thing. We never beat Houston. We don't ever beat them. This is going to be the 4th time if we lose to them again. So
you know what it is? I don't feel like some of these guys, man. I'm sorry, man. And I'm a diehard Yankee fan, but these guys don't have the heart, man. I feel like they're just showing up like they get like, hey, another day at work. They don't have the heart.
They go down easily. They just don't. They don't care. They don't want to win. They want to go home. That's what they look defeated before they take the field.
But you never know in a playoff. A guy could like Trevino. I could see him freaking going nuts, batting over 330 in the ALDS.
And that's another thing. Okay, so when the playoffs come,
maybe in the ALDS.
So I think we can all agree Trevino needs to be starting every game. I don't want to see this Trevino, then Higgy, then Trevino.
Oh, yeah. I want Trevino.
Put your best players out there every single
game. Screw the personal catcher.
Yeah, you got
all that is out the window, I
agree.
Do that, Is Marvin going to be on the roster instead of Cabrera? These are all questions that
you need speed.
Yankees,
you need speed, Jason. Yeah.
I don't know if they got is Hicks going to be on this roster? I don't know if they have the stones to be like, you know what?
No, he's going to be benched. We were talking about that on Hector's show.
I know they were talking about that, but you need
bench, man. I feel like he needs to not even be on the playoff roster at all,
That's a tough one there, Jason. I'm going to push back on that one because he's a switch hitting center fielder.
Okay.
Who has a pretty decent arm.
No, but we're going to get – think about it. We're going to get Bader back. Hopefully we'll have Carpenter back.
See, I'm not even counting
looks pretty
Bader,
good.
Dude.
It's not a guarantee.
So, where does he fit? There's a lot of players. It's like, where do these guys fit in?
Yeah, but you also got to remember. It's going to get cold in the Northeast. Do you really want to play Judge in center field with a possibility of pulling a hamstring? Or something cold. Cold weather, running the bases. That's a tough. You're going to need a natural center fielder out there. That's just what worries.
That's why we got Bader, man. This kid Bader better.
I don't think so.
I better see him.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. I don't like.
I don't believe him either. I don't like.
I better see this guy. I'm telling you, I would lose. I would lose if I don't see this guy.
That was a terrible trade. I'll give it. Terrible trade. They got an injured outfielder. They traded a pitcher for an injured outfielder. Why didn't we get a starter when we traded for Montgomery? Why didn't we get a starter back in return? Why do you trade for a guy that's not going to play for when we had somebody that was a starting pitcher that was a solid pitcher? Why didn't we get a pitcher in return? Made no sense.
So you guys are saying we don't see him in 2022 at all?
I don't think so. I got the stats, Kev.
Nah.
All right, give me a second.
So
How many times does the Astros struck out?
So I'm gonna give you the Yankees first because this is a Yankee podcast. I'm gonna give you the Astros.
Hey guys, I'll be back, guys.
All
Yeah,
right.
no problem.
So the Yankees this season so far as a team has struck out 1,084 times, and then the Astros this season so far as a team has struck out 953 times.
What was the Yankees again? 800?
1,084.
1,084, and the Astros 800?
953.
Not that much. Well, I'm gonna probably lose power, guys, in a moment. So I'm gonna be wrapping up shortly because I have thunderstorms and my power just flipped.
Yeah.
So if it goes if it goes off the air it's because I'm having thunderstorms outside and the lights just flicker and of course when you're in Central Florida, thunderstorms knock out the power.
Are you gonna be doing a watch along tonight?
No, unfortunately I will not be doing a watch along. That's why I came here a little longer.
Okay.
And I came on board because it's going to be extremely late for me. I get up extremely early in the morning.
All right.
By the time the game finishes, it will be midnight, 1 o'clock, and I cannot go on 2.5 to 3 hours of sleep. I need, unfortunately.
But like always, they better win this series. We've been saying this for the last 2 months. They have to beat the Angels. I want them to sweep them. I hope this is a sweep. And I was hoping Oakland. So.
I think Yankees win 2 out of 3 because it's tough for them to sweep in Anaheim. They don't do that normally.
Same thing in Oakland. They don't win in Oakland either. They never win in Oakland. So it's always the
fact that they split. It says a tall telling, and they had a chance to win 3 out of 4. But that tells you a tall tale there that the Yankees did well on that, despite the fact in the Oakland Pornhub Coliseum where they split 2-2.
Yeah, it's the same story with this team, man. It's like a broken record with the Yankees. If they could just be a complete team and play like a complete team and be consistent on a daily basis, they would have no problems. And maybe they would win a World Series if they were actually consistent enough. But they just don't, and they don't have the right players. We just don't have the right team. If we had a team that was actually like, if these guys were like clutch hitters and they had the clutch gene, the Yankees would be a completely different animal. But we're not. And we have the wrong front office. It's just a shame, man. If we had all these different people, like if we had the Dodgers GM freaking, I mean, the Yankees would be a championship caliber team right now. They win World Series, but
let me tantalize your juices for a moment. If tonight's game, I tell you that I have Judge in right, LeCastro in center, Benintendi in left, and you're giving me a Cabrera at third, IKF is short, Torres at second. You're gonna you could take your choice. You want DJ at first or Rizzo at first, and either one as a designated hitter with Jose Trevino. I like that lineup because you got contact.
Yeah, it has to be Benintendi and LeMahieu 1 and 2.
What about Stanton though?
No, Stanton is your designated hitter. You could play either LeMahieu. You could either have LeMahieu as your first baseman and give. I don't know if it's a left-handed pitcher tonight. You could give Rizzo because he doesn't look healthy. You got your infield's going to look like DJ, Torres, Isaiah kind of Falefa, and Cabrera. Then your outfield is Castro in center, Judge in right, Benintendi in left. Of course, Trevino is behind the plate. I like that lineup because it's different. You could play but it's up to the freaking manager to know how to play hit and run in situations, know when to put guys in motions. You're gonna have contact hitters with speed, and you could really do some nice stuff there. And then you have your power guys between Stanton and Judge there, and play them both. I like that. To me, that's a lineup that I like to see. Going. Give me that. I'm excited with that one if they wanted to go that route.
Yeah, but what has to be done is Benintendi and LeMahieu have to be your 1 and 2, and then Judge and then Rizzo Stanton. That's the way it should stay every night. But all Boone likes to do is keep changing the lineup every day. It's terrible.
Well, even if you go leading off Benintendi, followed by the DJ LeMahieu, then Judge, then you want to put a protection there. You want to put, of course, Stanton,
and then Rizzo.
Rizzo's not going to play tonight. Rizzo's going to have the night off.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
But you want LeMahieu in the lineup. But you want to have Cabrera's back. The reason why I want to put LeCastro in the lineup here. I want a Castro batting ninth. I want a batting like Trevino, Castro, that kind of there to see what I could get out of that. Some contact hitters to see because they need something. They need something different just because you can't keep bringing Josh Donaldson out there swinging and missing, always behind the count. And also Gleyber Torres is another one that's a little unless and you can't. Gleyber didn't play last game, if I'm not mistaken. Or he did play. He did play. That's a mismatch. I kind of want to see that, but at the end of the day, I want to see that kind of lineup, that kind of balance in there. We'll see.
Yeah, it is what it is with this team.
Yeah, actually, imagine the Castro and center instead of Hicks, and plus the Castro could set up someone like a Mayu or Benintendi and that'd be amazing. Actually, 9-1 punch.
If you get a Castro and let's say leading off the bottom of the third inning, on top of the third inning, excuse me, because they're all going to be on the road, and he gets on some like Cook or Crook, whatever, gets on base, he's on with a lead walk. Now you have situational hitters. You got Benintendi and LeMahieu. You can send the runners. You're gonna have first of all, you're gonna have the first baseman holding the runner on, which is gonna have that big hole there between first and second. You either Benintendi could pull something or LeMahieu, he goes the opposite direction. You could even go hit and run. You could go, you could go for, and then if LeMahieu or Benintendi gets a single, you have a guy to go first and third. So even if you get a base hit, you got first and third with no one out. With LeMahieu or Benintendi, whichever way you want to.
Or the Castro could just steal.
Yeah. That's my point. You're becoming dynamic. You're putting the defense on their toes. You're making things happen instead of waiting there and know that I could pitch around in this one because we're gonna get Donaldson. Don't get him nothing where he could start his bat, throw him fastball, and he's a walking strikeout. Torres will swing at the first pitch and he's gonna pop it up. There's a pattern there with these stuff, guys. If you want to change things for wild card with contact hitter, wait a minute, I gotta be careful of LeMahieu, or let's say it's late in the game, 7th inning, 6th inning, and the Yankees are down by 1, whatever the case is, and that situation comes up. Now the manager can go to the bullpen and bring in a lefty to go against a Benintendi, but guess what? You got the righties coming now, or vice versa. I'm gonna bring in a righty, but you got the lefty first. Then so that's why we want that balance in that lineup especially with I don't get why they don't do this, especially with the 3 batter minimum. They still keep piling on the same side of the bat, right-handers with one way. It just when you have lefties and switch hitters, it just frustrates me.
Yeah, I missed Gio Urshela. I wish Gio Urshela was still on this team instead of Donaldson.
I can tell he wanted to cry a little bit.
Anyways, let's end it. We're an hour and a half here. Let's end it here. We'll leave Michael with his final thoughts on the It's Over Yanks, and he'll thank you for joining. Hey, by the way, Sasha Banks Naomi on the WWE roster. They updated it.
Nice. Okay.
They're coming out tonight, so we'll can't wait to see that. We'll let Caputo give his final thoughts here.
All right. So the Yankees have to turn their season around here once again. They're in a predicament here where they look like they're kind of like slowly, they're going downhill again. After they look like they turned their season around against the Mets, so what they have to do is they have to beat the Angels and just start to continue to keep winning, and that's it. Let's lock this division up. They still have a long ways to go. So, I mean, that's it. Just beat the Angels. But we've said this every series, and all they do is lose. So I guess they'll take 2 out of 3. And then, away we go. Let's see. Hopefully they could take off, and that's the streak that they need. But we thought after they beat the Mets they were going to take off, and nothing happened. So here we go again. Let's try this again. Beat the Angels.
If not, it's
over.
The New York Yankees?
The New York Yankees!
Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle, Costanza.
I must say, with all due respect, I find it very hard to see the logic behind some of the moves you have made with this fine organization. In the past 20 years, you have caused myself and the city of New York a good deal of distress, as we have watched you take our beloved Yankees and reduce them to a laughingstock, all for the glorification of your massive... The little light is blinking right now. Come